Looking at the date, I actually realized that we are 4 days late to like celebrate. And I'm like, that's very interesting. I think I was focusing on different other stuff and I just don't want to take my mind off that. So I focus on that first. And then now we are here. We get to celebrate. Can't believe we're in the 4 months, literally. So I have created the playlist for month 4, which is the throne. Because in this month, in my business, I would start promoting my stuff eventually. Uh, Essentially, the offer is itself to let people know I'm here. I'm here to help you with this, 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 this. I don't know how it will work because I just watched something in the Korean TV show and something along, and they have this thing called bias. If you have, because society lived in bias concept, bias philosophy. So either how you dress, either how you pronounce the things, either how your tone, your voice sounds like, it created some kind of imaginary of what you are like as a person. And I now understand, oh, I actually have a really downside factor about my business, which is I am considerably in the first person, in the first impression to other people, I am a Muslim. But because I don't um, move as the general Muslim out there, because I'm such a anomaly in this group, I'm like, I have a disadvantage. Either I just take it off and just show it like that, or just like keep it in until I'm ready to take it off. I just realized that. And I'm like, fuck, we have not thought about that one thing before because, but considering the person I am, I want to help is not only the Muslim people. I literally just like want to help people who is connected with me. And in that category, what I can ex- excel in is actually how I say what I know and let them decide if they still want to work with me or not, because I have put my psychic offer like back when it's like early to 2022 2023, and people actually sign up and I got 2 clients from that moment, 2 paid clients. I mean, that's interesting. And I guess they didn't necessarily have that bias about, oh, you are this, why would you call yourself a psychic and all that stuff. And I guess it would work in that way. So culturally, it can be seen as a disadvantage. But of course, we are here to open the bias that people have around certain cultures, certain people, certain ethnic, age, whatever it is. So I am optimistic that things will be different. But we still need to see how it will land with that the people that I show it to, and let them decide. Because I won't change the no matter who is my client. I'm just going to be the person that I am, and with the things that I know. It doesn't matter what is your background, what is your problem. I know how to make things work for you with your system, with your rules, with your aspiration, dreams, direction in life, and all that stuff. So my work is a lot more complex than just being a therapist, than just being a coach and being a guide. It's literally like order. What do you call it? Not order, like sort your life in accordance. Like this can be like this can be like this can be like this. But if you have this kind of direction in life, or places that you want to be, the feeling or the space, or literally a relationship with other people, then your option is actually literally fall into this one, this, or this? What do you think is your most preferable choice right here? Because then according everything else, like literally we are going to list it like what is your option, what is your downfall, what is your um path in life, direction, and also like the spirituality of it. Like if we switch it in the spirituality, what is your destiny, fate, your personal guide, which is like your spiritual guide and who they are and how they want to help you, how what else is missing in your path, which is like is are you missing the skills, are you missing the mindset, are you missing the people, the other resources that is just not here and therefore you can't get to where you want to go. And that's essentially it. But yeah, can't believe that I'm here. So I'm kind of stunned. I think like I strayed away for too far, but that's the essentially what I'm here. And oh, we are talking about the throne, the playlist. So because we are in the 4th month, I wonder like if you have some other question that you have in mind that you want to ask me. Feel free to drop the comment, or if you are here live with me, just chat, just drop your question in the chat and I'll answer the best I can. But yeah. And in most of my live stream, I essentially using I and we more often than using you, because you can create this separation between like me and you, but I never see it that way. I have sorted whatever confusion I have in life, and essentially it's not you, it's we. If you propose a problem, oh, I have this problem, like this, and I'm in that space with you, hearing what you are experiencing, then it is also my problem, and I can participate, I can contribute to whatever situation you're in. So that's why like most of the time I say we instead of you. But then the word we also has the meaning that me and my guides, my spiritual team, and that's why I said we. And I just want to sort that one out because it sounds so weird in English, because English has this individuality tone to it that you, me, and it is like so separated and all that stuff. But in some of the language on in Indonesia, there are cultures, tribes, people that are actually using word we instead of you. Literally, the first time I heard about it, my friends from outer city, they talk like that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not like that. In my culture, we is actually meaning you, but actually it's kind of used in the way that pronounced that way, so I don't necessarily use you. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I also use that when I talk to my guides, when I talk to my spirit team. So sometimes when I talk to myself, so sometimes when you have like time alone and you are talking about something, I often said the time my subject change into we, you already know that I have invited my guides to talk in a space, and they have the control of over my words, because the words coming from the image I have in mind, and then that word cannot be explained with you and me. It's always like we. Either it's we for the human collective, me and you as a human, or we as me and my spiritual team. This is interesting, right? And when I instigate, what does instigate mean? I don't know. Sometimes I speak a word that I have no idea what it's mean. And as always, it is the right word. When I instigate my mission, it happened this way. I didn't talk in the subject of I speak in the subject of we. So like, why would I help you? Why would we help human? Because, well, you are the connector to us. You are the human side that can deliver this message, this frequency to other humans. And we are here to help people with this, with this, with this, with this. And it's just lining up to that. And I feel like more and more people will understand that at some point, living a human life, it's not just about you and me, it's about us. And understanding from that perspective will diminish the idea of duality, because there is no separation. It's just us. You do something bad, it was because we are ready to work on it, or you are the way shower that, oh, it's actually still here, and we need to reinvent the strategy to actually work on this together. And if by any case we can't dispel it right now, we need to know what else can we do with it. Meaning like prepare some other solution that might not be the solution to diminish the thing, but it will help to diminish it eventually. It's part of the notion. I didn't even know what notion is. Can you believe that? The moment I learned about English, the moment I learn about English, I just look up the word notion, and it's just a vague idea and philosophy, whatever it is, and it's actually really aligned with what I want to talk about. And the weird thing is that the moment I learn English, there is so little word that I know, and I think I started when I was 6, or yeah, the moment I watch TV, I watched too much HBO as a child, and that is how I know English in the first place, because I watch it too often. And HBO was the only channel, not the only, but the most frequent channel I watch as a child. And I didn't know any word back then, just like any other child when they first learned a language. But then I get to speak a word that I have no way of knowing sometimes, but also like no way of understanding the real meaning of it. And sometimes I just know that it feels right, and then I said it. But as a human who think logically, I would never have idea. I would never have the idea of what have I taught. Like I don't know what I just talked about. I don't know what I just shared. And it's a weird idea that you can speak a word not knowing what is the meaning of it. I feel like that's why like I'm so intuitive in the first place, because I can tune into such a detailed meaning while also not knowing the real meaning of it. Like, do you understand that? So today I have no topic, and I thought, oh, actually we can talk about that today. That's why like I put the title as like happy 4 months live stream to us. And I talk about the live stream. I talk about the playlist live stream. I talk about the word us, and I talk everything that I want to talk about. And I want to share this because it's really interesting. The bloody game It's a Korean TV show that is essentially a bloody game because they use violence as a rule in the game, and they can use violence in the game, and it's really like interesting idea because sometimes a game show is so civilized they would never use any force or fight, but this one is allowing that idea, and it was broadcast in such a, you need to infiltrate the house, you can use any force you want, you capable of, and do that. And it gets fiery, to be honest. It's pretty scary to watch if you are not someone who is used to see such violence. But I'm like, oh, that's interesting. There are contestants in the game that was crying because, yep, I know it's crazy. And then I watch the psychopath movie, and that's how I get into psychology as a child, and I dream about learning psychology. That's also. And that's why like I'm such a freak in as an Indonesian because I'm not moving like a freaking Indonesian because that is one of the reason. Like I watch the HBO. Sometimes you can get into a space not really feeling that you belong and you will forget about it. But I feel such a connection with English, with this Western culture, that I eventually be the person who is never fit in the Eastern culture in itself. But I learned to embody both, to be honest. Yeah, so the Bloody Game show, it's fascinating because I'm thinking like this is what happened in the world these days because everyone trying to use their force to get what they want. But if you think about it, it doesn't need to be that way. And I shared about this in my main channel is that you if you have some problem in life, you don't necessarily need to exert that much of effort, of force. There are things that you can talk about, there are things that you can like do it in a group type of setting, so you work with someone else to get what you want. That is also possible. But yeah, and the game show sometimes the game show just involve the intelligence. This one is like it's a bloody game. You if you got time, you gotta watch this because it's as once in a while kind of thing. If you are so into fighting, you probably love MMA more because this one is a lot more civilized than that. But yeah, and right now talking about language, I am learning Korean. So I got the hang to use the tonality. So whenever I learn some new language, I don't learn the words. I learn the flow because then I get to speak like I'm a freaking native, even though I'm not. But because I know how to say the word, I know how to essentially feel like I own the language itself. It's easier to learn the word when I already own. Name is it on YouTube. What do you mean with that? Name is it on YouTube. Don't like MMA. I also don't like it. I also can't stand people exerting too much effort because I can see like they are trying too hard and they don't own their thing. But they're whenever I see someone perform in a stage on stage, I can see like are they trying too much? Are they owning where they at? And if like they can't own and they're dancing because okay, the move is like this and then go here. And I'm like, I can see that. Oh, I can see that you are trying too hard and I can't fall. I can't I can't like enjoy the performance itself. It's so weird for me to watch people dance on the stage. If I can see like you were trying to make sense your move, what is your next move? I'm like, okay, you're fucked. You're not that good yet. Tak 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 chalasa. Oh, Korean. Yeah, and I try to learn the flow first, then I learn the word max. And that's also like how I get into the English because I just spitting the flow like I'm freaking talking in English when I was a child, but actually I make no sense of the word. and, and I look it up in my older diaries and I read it. I'm like, honey, doesn't make sense. This word doesn't make sense with this word. And then when I try to make sense of it, I can't really understand what I'm writing here. And I'm like, oh, you have a good try. Yeah. And when I read the whole thing, I can like picture the frequency that I'm trying to say in my old diaries. But then I'm like, oh, this is so cute, this is so cute. But then I get into the point where it was so dark and I'm like, oh my god, why didn't I scratch this? Why did I just put this here? Because my childhood got so dark like when I was in the third grade, which is like 9. So a year after I started a mission, I'm like getting into this really dark place. Not really dark like I want to end things, but dark enough to know that there is no way out of this. I need to get deeper because that's just the flow of the of my life. And I'm like, I I can't believe I put it there. And then I put the diary somewhere like out in the open and my parents can see it. But because I wrote it in such a alien language, I don't think like they can understand it. I mean, like they can read it, but because I know my parents and family can't really speak English well, so I thought like they would never understand it. But then what's weird is that if they found the diary, if they read the diary, they would know what happened in my life. So the problem with my family is that I have been abandoned emotionally for too long, and I never get to develop that family connection with my family. So I get to be so alien in the society, but also like in my own family, because I never get that need met in the first place. So yeah, I just found it weird. The more I think about it, the angrier I get because like if this diary is out in the open and they found it and they read it and they understand a few words from it, they can paint the picture of where I was at. But if they read it and they didn't talk to me about it, I wonder like what am I in this family? And that's why like I'm so hesitant to fix this lineage connection because like would it seems like I'm the only one who want to work it out, and then by the end of all I would actually work my ass off to actually get to the destination that I want. I wonder because if you're talking about like the marriage, friendship, um family connection, there is no 50-50 on that. It sometimes it always like a person is like this one toes deep, never like 100% deep, and I'm like, do I actually want to exert that much amount? Is there anything that I want to experience in this family and all that stuff? And I'm like, I am not loyal. to begin with. I used to, but then I learned that it is not in my blood to be so loyal on one category. I'm out of the religion. I'm out of old friendship. One time I told my friend about my experience in sexual trauma itself, and then they flip it. They flip the story, and then they like share a not a novel. It's just like a lie that have that kind of thing in it, and like I already so invested in helping this person. Like, oh my god, you have this too. I can't believe it. I want to help you. What can I do for you? And then they eventually said, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's just a lie. And I'm like, and I cry that day on school. At school, everyone who saw me was like, oh my god, what did you cry? And I'm like, it's okay. Because I can't really tell them that this person is lying about this because they use, and then I need to tell them what I have, what my personal thing with it. And in order to say everything, and that in order to say the story, I need to tell what I have. And I'm like, I don't want to share it with that. So I'm just staying quiet. And then my dad picked me up. And instead of like going back home, like straight away, he stopped on the side of the road talking to someone. And I'm like, oh my god, can you just like get me home? And that person that was talking to my dad actually looking at me, knowing that I was crying, but saying nothing. So I'm like, nobody can be trusted. And I'm just waiting my dad to finish whatever he's talking to this man on the side of the road. And then we get home, and then no question asked. When I was home, no question asked, and they are just getting on their day. Oh my god! Now that I think about it, it's painful as fuck. That's why I'm like, do I actually want to get on that? Because I'm like such a blind. I don't have any personal connection with this family whatsoever, and I'm not loyal. That's why like I try to be loyal, but people who I try to be loyal to always like fight me, like stab me in the back, and I'm like, I don't know. But I do know the wider benefit of this, because I'm working here to expand the consciousness of humanity. And if I have this thing in my system, would it actually help or would it actually block me? Because it's not like I can't talk to them, but I just know that even if it's like untangled, this problem, it would still look like I am giving out my 70% while they would be like at 15 or 20. I don't know. It's such a hard line. So that's one thing. I'm trying to get back on the main road, but we getting on because we're just celebrating the fourth month of our live stream. And sometimes the Korean part, I try to see, I try to talk something in Korean, and now these days I get to say a word. I have no way of knowing what does that mean. Like I I speak it out, but I'm like, I actually don't know what that means. But sometimes it makes sense, or I'm just like letting it be. I don't know when I will learn the placement of words. Like sometimes in English we have subject, that word, and then this word, and then this word. It's always like in that sequence. So I still have no idea how the Korean sequence work. I used to have a book that share how to like make a sentence in Korean, but I still have no idea why. Like the reason why it was placed here, why it was placed here, I still have no idea. But because I have drowned, I have like swim in this kind of Korean content. The more I get into it, the more I can like see the pattern, and it's become a lot easier. But yeah, it's still like I still don't know what this mean or this mean. But also like when you watch TV, so this is what I got when I was first learning English, is that I get to watch it, but then I need to like see the subtitle and not really immersing myself in the movie, in this whatever I'm watching. And I'm like, thank you. But I'm like, you know what? Sometimes the person is actually speaking differently than the meaning that they said in the subtitle. I'm like, I'm so upset that I can't know the depth of emotional depth of what this person actually say, because depending on what their emotion state, you literally say it differently. But with subtitle, it's always like a neutral way of saying things. And I've seen it now that in Korean subtitle, it also worked that way. And I can say like, oh, actually, this person not saying that. I can, because I know that word and it's actually means in this way. Why? Because the emotional depth is a lot more intense than that word. That word is so neutral, and I can possibly know that because this person actually looks angry, but the word is like so neutral. So I hate it when it happens. And there is one time when the person actually cursing, but the only curse that was said in this in the subtitle is like, I hate this, and I'm like, no, it's not actually that. You actually need to add the I fucking hate this, but just like I hate this. Eh, you need to say it more to make the depth of what they say. But the good thing is that sometimes you can never translate or a certain sentence from one language to the other because they have different depth. That's for sure. Sometimes people like in Indonesia, they use the word we instead of you because of that reason, because they have a different emotional placement. And also like Korean have this intense gravitation around anger, and they can like pronounce their anger in so many ways. So there are words that cannot be identified in that way because they just say it in a word that doesn't have that English doesn't have. So we can never know what they say until we are actually too deep in this language and eventually understand, oh, you actually use this word in this particular way. And also like, you know, like in English you can say, oh, can I say it, because it's such a really terrible word when you are a woman and you are being so bitchy, and then there's like four types of word that you can use: bitch, or started with C, and then there's the last terrible one. I kind of forget about it. And it's different, but it's the same meaning. So would you actually use that word for the same understanding? No, because it holds a different emotional connection, emotional depth. And I've eventually, because of this idea in language, I eventually understand, oh, that's why Japanese kawaii is actually different. Got to be British to get away with that. Exactly. I'm like, they are they are too far deep in English, to be honest. And in Japanese, there is a word called kawaii. I have never understand a person who say like, "Oh my god, you're so cute." I'm like, is it the style that is cute? Is it the word that is cute? Is it something that is cute? But when I tap into the frequency, so I'm using my spiritual gift. The only sensitivity that is alive with me is actually my spiritual gift. And that's why I'm getting so far with so many other transformation I have in life, because the only thing that is working for me is my sensitivity around the energy of certain things. And when I tap into this word frequency, I get to see, oh, kawaii is actually used more in this kind of presence, instead of pointing out, oh, this thing is cute, oh, this rubber is cute, oh, this pasta is cute. It's different. So I understand that people in Japanese using kawaii because the person looks cute, the person present looks cute, rather than the things they wear and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's the depth, that's the emotional depth. And that's why I get to understand, oh, people sometimes use the word cute can be as can be seen as being polite, being sincere, being this, and I get to open that world of empathic connection. And I'm like, oh, this is because of that. This is because of that. It was sometime after I heal the biggest block in my life back in 2018. I was just laying down, and I still remember the scene. I was laying down, and I was like, some my spirit guide keeps telling me kawaii, 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 and I'm like, I don't know when. And I tap into it, and I get to see the depth of it, and I get to see that. And the next day, which is weird because I dream in my sleep the next day, and I still remember to this day something about India and Palestine. I don't know. I was like in not India and Palestine. Is it India and Palestine? I mean, like that area used to have some kind of war, and I was foreseeing that image in my head in my dream, and I'm like, I don't know why. And then I look it up, and essentially I saw an article that is referring to that moment, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know history, nor I care about history. So I get to be in this scene and seeing how people fight in that moment. But that's the first time like I get to be informed by my spiritual team about it. I'm like, don't know. It's what's weird about war is that I was in my high school. I was just about to walk into my canteen, school canteen, and I get to hear that do you call it like when you are a warrior, you are wearing a suit, and that suit is heavy because it was made from metal. And I get to hear, and I'm like, huh? Where did I hear that? And then I hear it more clearly, and then I get the vision, and then suddenly I am in this person sight, and I see it, and I see myself, and I'm like, I'm a warrior right now, but I'm not that. So what I imagine is that the land that the school at is actually some type of historic place, because I can still I heard it, and then I'm just like, don't get into deep, do not get too deep in this. And I just like pull myself out, and I'm just like, let's eat. Let's eat. And I think like whenever I'm in that stance of being somewhere new, I always like get some instinct. And because I was so sensitive, sometimes the being like infiltrate my body, then I get to be that person. Well, that being actually, I don't know what they do with this form, but making a mess out of it. But yeah, sometimes it happened that way. And a couple days later, I saw the little child ghost in the canteen. Little side story. It was so weird. I don't know why I saw that warrior. But yeah, that's why I don't go out. I don't meet new people because something somehow I would just know and experience something really weird. And the worst of it is that I bring them home. Ta-da! So if you are scared of ghosts, do not get into my house. My friend, my really good close friends from middle school, till these days, scared to get into my house because one time she was here, she saw something on the stairs. I'm like, is there somewhere? Is there someone there? And my friend asked me, yeah, there's someone there. Did you saw him? I just did. I'm like, oh my god, you met him. And that's why I also keep my cat because then the timeline between dimension diminished because of there are more footprint about my cat of my cat than the ghost. So now instead of seeing the ghost, you see the cat. And I saw a couple of them here and there, and I'm like, the cat ghost is actually still here because I used to see them in the backyards, but now these days they are in the under the chair in the small corner there in the crowded space here, and I saw the white body, like maybe they are white colored hair cat. I don't know. Whale rider. No, I never. I'll look it up the trailer in in YouTube. Probably probably. Is that like an old movie? Because if it's like really really old, I probably couldn't find it online. But yeah, I'll look it up. It's fascinating. And I haven't contacted my best friend since first like since 2 years ago. Like I don't really meet anyone because of this reason. So whenever I meet my friend, is always like an old friend, and they never upset that I never call them because I'm that type that would hide for so long, and you just never know what I'm doing, and then the moment I actually contacting you, you will hear a bunch of stories that you will never imagine in the first place. Mm, I think I would probably still find that. And I just contacted my friend again, and she said, I lost your number. I'm glad you contacted me. So how are you? And I'm like, okay. I don't know why I get to contacted her for so after so long. And then I'm like, I want to hear what she is doing. And then I do that, and I'm like, oh, that's the news from you. And we just share some stories. And it's really just everyday life. There's no new story from her. There's no new story from me. But if I'm friend with you, it just I would never be the person who would say, "How are you doing this week?" I would probably, "How are you doing last year? How are you doing last year?" I was so uh I'm the person who can have fun in my own time, and it's just it would be weird for me to like be in someone else's space for too long because little girl green coat on cover. Hmm. Sounds intriguing. Sometimes when I think about this month, which is we are in the month 4, I I have no fear around what I would tell you anymore, but also like I don't know how it will go. So there are some type of excitement, but also like anticipation, but also like, is it going to work this way? Is it going to work this way? Because I will be like diving deep into the business side itself. So that side might not be so interesting to talk about because reality itself, I don't know how it will work. But we will see how it goes because hopefully the journey would not be so rocky. Exactly. At some point, it just never been interesting to talk about it. And also, like, the progress is so little, like, it just never changed. And everyday life is just an everyday life. I try to be that person who, like, find every moment is every moment as a fascination, but I never get to understand why do I need to put effort this much on being excited. But then I realized I'm a person who need to put effort to enjoy life because I'm born with this critical, rigid, too sensitive, either it's emotionally or spiritually, as a person. So there are too many um I forgot the word. Too many cliff all over the road, on the side of the road that if I just slipped a bit, if I stopped doing that, I would fall back down to the old space that I used to belong. And that's why, like, I always try my best to feel happy, to seem happy, to sound happy, even though like I probably not, even though I probably like never thought about it, or maybe like I lie a bit about it. But it was just my effort to never get into that space again. And these days I still do that because my physical lever is like down to negative 50 right now. So if I am not pushing myself in that area, I will fall back down. I will like break my mentality to a point and just leveraging my spirituality at best. And that will be so hard because I can't think logically, I can't move freely, and I'm forcing myself on, what do you call it? I lost my word. On on the place where my physicality is like dropped to minus 50. It's only been us to do fear if win a row. Oh yeah, that's true. But also like even if it goes viral, I don't know. If it goes viral, I don't have fear around it because nothing in what I have told you is a lie. That's the problem. So I would fear it if by any chance I lie in the process. Because when someone else out there catches on, oh, you actually lie about this, just like how that story goes. I would probably be so anxious about it, but I have never been lies. I have been never lied in this live stream once. So I'm stepping into my truth. I'm just being sincere. I don't tell any lies here. And that's why like when someone out there would tell me like just do it this way, but it's not aligned with me. I don't own that frequency. I can't own it to 100%. So that's why I never use it in the first place. There are people out there who is just strategists, who just marketing bros and saying like you can actually just do it this way. No one will know. Exactly. No one will know until they do. And or until I tell them that it is. So there are some new project in the moment, and I understand that at some point I can't really own the thing 100%, but that can be said in something truthful, that I don't need to give a lie. But here's the thing about truth, about being sincere and not really telling any lies, is that what I usually fear is that it can be too boring, it can be too rigid, it can be like um too normal, to be honest. And I'm like, and I don't like to be perceived like I am dull to begin with. And that's why I try to say it differently, emotional depth wise. But what I tell you is not a lie at all. So yeah. When I was in high school, there was a project I have about being social. There is there was something that I lied about there, but I eventually do it because of an experiment. Did I tell them that it was a lie? No. It was an experiment. I don't need to know. So I do know how to tell a lie. And I would lie if I need to. But here, this work is my life. So I can't lie anything on it. And but there is a hard line. You can tell the truth, but you cannot be blunt. That's what I noticed throughout my life, is that because sometimes the truth is so blunt that the people would never want to hear what you say next because it was just too in your face. Like I did that too often when I was in high school, and people like staying away from me, and I noticed it. I mean, like, and I get to feel like, oh, okay, when I tell this person this, uh, like whisper to this person this, and the other people were actually looking at us, knowing what I would tell this person, we actually don't need to do that. But then it would sound like a lie. But then this person is them don't want this person to know what is going on. So do I tell a lie there? Or should I actually just I think you should actually ask the person itself. I'm not in a place to tell what is going on. I don't know. But I'm like, I am so sick of this thing that you guys have because I think it's so stupid. And then I just say it to this person. And then this person knows, and then the next thing is not so good. Or there's sometimes like there is a project, a group project in school, and I'm like, I just said, like, I review how they work, and I'm like, yeah, you guys actually do it this way and this one this way, and I think like we can speed it up into like this way and this way. And then they're just looking at me silently and like, you bitch. I can see in their face, in their eyes. I'm like, I just made a mistake. I can be truthful. I just don't need to be blunt. The biggest thing I got. But then when you are telling a truth softly, you also need to consider about, is this person would take it seriously, or this person would take it the same way as I say it bluntly. Because there are people who can read under the lines, and they can read intention, and they can like still see the bluntness of how we said it. We said it even though like we are soft speaking about it. So I'm like, I wonder like what can I do with this? Or if it's like undeniably difficult, we can just like say it plainly and let the other person. But there's also the bias itself. So I'm like, it depends on how you said it, the tonality, how your face is going, and it's a different factor altogether. But I always see it from intentional state as stance, intentional stance, which is like, am I doing a good thing? Am I like from the good of my heart, or am I here to hurt this person? I always like Not always. I used to uh scratch that line, and these days I'm like, am I saying it for the good from my heart, or am I saying it from like I want this person to have the most horrible things to experience? Then I would never say it if it's like the opposite side. If it's like good, I would tell it no matter what. But it's been a hard line to like notice. Is it because of I'm emotional, or is it because this person have crossed the line and I need to let them know before anything worse happen? And also like that's the stance that I'm going for in my business, is that it's either you know it now or you will never know it until someone pointed it out, or you just receive the punishment, the consequence of your behavior. Because there are some really terrible consequence if you continuously do something really bad, that there will be an end line, the finish line. Either it's like you lost something, you get into something, either it's prison, either it's expulsion, either it's something. So there are like really, really striking difference. And if it's like heading there, I would probably still say it no matter how blunt it sounds like to that person. If I can't find the soft spoken way, because there are things that you can never find to like soften how you say the truth. I'm like, whenever I rake my head to find a way and I can't find it, I'm just like, I'm gonna just blurt it out, say it with the most plainest way possible, and let this person think for itself. Because sometimes you can't really help all the people. But lately, if I look at the my live stream channel, it's always like there are more than just one, which is like weird. Sometimes like there are a few people that watch it. I don't know if you watch it sparingly, like you watch it here and then you continue later. But I have seen a couple of rise in my video, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's not just us, Bruce. So yeah, I also I've been wanting to like get out there and out just to start promoting, but I've been stuck with this Korean TV show. I'm just what do you call it? I'm starting losing my word now because it's like it's been an hour. Uh, what do you call it when you like watch the whole things to get, like all in one go? Like I've been watching it like that, and because the bloody game is like 4 season now, I am on the third, and the fourth is like still um it's still live, meaning like they're still like on the go. I think like now it's like third episode of fourth, no, third or second episode. So that's I don't remember the catching. Yep. So I got nothing else to share, and thank you for watching me for 4 months because we are in the 4 months period, and yeah, I'll see you.